yeah, nah, I'm working on music. I'm working with independent artists right now. For until like next week, and then I'm out. I'm leaving the I'm leaving the country for a little bit, man. Sorry to hear that. Yo, how long was that drive? Like 4 hours? I see more questions. How much of my work is uncredited? This is a great question. None of my work is uncredited. The better question is how many people don't read credits? That's the real question. I've been credited for all of my work, and it still shocks people to this day when they find out that I've done certain things, certain music, that I produced certain music that they've they naturally assumed other people have done. So yeah, people don't. Yeah, so I've been rightfully credited for all of my work, but people don't read credits, so that's not on me. People, yeah, is wild. Like people who say they are my biggest fans, and then shout me out for "Stay Up Viagra," which is the only song that they know that I produced. Maybe "Thieves in the Night" by Black Star. Like their tops get blown when they find out that I produced certain songs that I produced and have won Grammys for, which is crazy. Yet they are my biggest fans. Any tips on finding good sounds? Any tips on producing in general? Any tips on finding good sounds? Start buying records. That's it. This is where I get all of my sounds. This is where I get all of my good sounds from. Any tips on producing in general? Yeah, don't follow any waves or any trends, and don't make trap beats. That's my advice. What do I do other than producing? I barely produce nowadays. What I normally do, if I'm not investing in the stock market and making cash or losing cash, no, I'm reading and studying Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons is literally in my life right now. Like the way people's assumption on how I feel about music, which I no longer have the same strong sentiments about music. However, I'm still freaking great at making music. But yeah, that sentiment has now been transferred to Dungeons and Dragons. So my life is all about Dungeons and Dragons. Like I sleep with at least two Dungeons and Dragons books in my bed because I read them every night. I have pretty much the entire collection and some more Dungeons and Dragons books on the way. Like, hold on, let me show you. Like, I read these, well, with the exception of this. I will get to this. I mean, I've read. What kind of investment are you up to? Or what kind of investment am I up to? I invest in common stocks. I don't do Bitcoin. I don't do NFTs, the cryptocurrency stuff. Well, actually, I don't do them, but I had to invest in Ethereum for a deal that I was doing. It's funny. I just said I don't do cryptocurrencies, Bitcoins, or anything like that, or NFTs. However, I'm currently part of an NFT deal where I had to purchase Ethereum in order to execute the deal. So I guess I am doing that, but I'm not really. That was literally just to get into this, to enter this deal. Yo, that's fire. Hopefully we work someday. Oh, we could work right now. I'm working with independent artists, musicians, producers, whatever. DM me if you're interested. Hey, what up, Maddie? Why are you awake? Can we take a look at my setup? Sure, you can. It's messy in my studio. So, the mixer right here, Akai, the AMX. This is my MPC X. Let me get it off the screen before y'all think I'm looking at porn, which I was. I was looking up, somebody asked me about the woman in my video that came out in 2008. That. But I usually bypass that if I could. MPK Mini and my turntable. Then I have this weighted keys, which I don't play. That is old and getting rid of that. But yeah, this is my setup, my speakers and old records. That is it. I like making trap beats? Because I can't stand trap beats. Trap beats are whack to me. It's literally the same drums with the same or slightly different patterns, but everyone's using it's the 808 drum breaks. Like I could play you a beat tape that I made back in 2010, and I'm only referencing this because I listened to it today. I played it for my friend during the meeting. I have 30 beats on there. Not a single beat has the same drum sounds on there. Not a single beat has the same drum sound on there. Like I would be embarrassed if I used the same drum sound twice. Like that's like easily identifiable on like 2 back-to-back productions, let alone using the same drums on everything I do, the 808 drums. Nah, yeah, I can't stand it. Have you ever used, or have I ever used izotope RX7 to clean my samples? No, I have not. Too much low frequency get in the way of lush instrumental potential. Yeah, then there's that. Let's see. What tips do I have for indie artists trying to break through? Tips that I have for indie artists trying to break through is to DM me for your production. And I feel like that would increase your chances of breaking through and making money. Yo, making money is like a lost component for a lot of new artists, I'm finding out, because I'm speaking to aspiring and independent artists in my DMs lately, and the concept of making money off the music is completely foreign to them, and which is blowing my mind. Like these past 3 days, it's been blowing my mind. So I'm like, man, that's wild. Like, do I gotta show y'all everything? Do I gotta teach you everything? But yeah. So that's my tip. DM me, get it in. We discuss the budget. Yeah, and then let's go. Send me a DM for production demos. Yes, absolutely. DM me. I'm working with an independent artist. I'm working on his song right now. I have 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 songs that I will be knocking out for 3 different independent / aspiring artists this week before I leave the country. So yeah, hit me. Can I send samples that I've been digging and chopping for my own use? You could, like, if you're looking, you could send those to me if you're looking for me to work on production for whatever project or song you're looking to put out. But preferably, I would be using my own samples. Right here. But yeah, anyone interested in having me produce a song or an EP for you, just DM me. We'll talk there. And it's very simple. I do very simple business. I have a 1-sheet agreement for both of our protection. Hey, the Prince, peace. All right, how can I get production from you as an indie artist? DM me. If you have any random jewels of knowledge you could lay on production-wise, lay on us production-wise, anything on your mind lately? The only jewel I'll say is this, and this may sound obvious. Man, trust your own ears. Just trust your own ears. Don't get fooled by, don't get caught up in the hype. Don't get fooled by the hype. I've seen people listen to terrible sounding music and they're in the studio and they're bopping their heads feverishly. And I'm like, yo, am I tripping? Keep killing the conch. It was dope. Thanks. Yeah, I only did the drums. But yeah, Ye did everything else. I did the drums. We did that like last year, I think, the beat. But yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, those drums are chopped. It's not a loop. I've not somewhat. I'll say this. I've mastered chopping up drum samples. I've mastered it. Like, you wouldn't believe what I've been able to do with drum samples. I definitely did those drums. What is your favorite Ralph Laurent piece ever? I don't have a favorite, but I have a piece that I have 2 pieces that turns heads every single time I wear it. One is Indian Point striped serape poncho that came out in fall of 2006, and then the other one is it's a trench coat. Actually, I have 3 pieces. One is a trench coat called the Bird Song Trench Coat, which came out, which is part of the Country Gentleman collection, which was fall 2013. And the other trench that I have, full length coat, is from The Great Outdoors, which was, I believe, fall of 2018. I won't say those are my favorite pieces, but those pieces, whenever I wear them, I get stopped in the middle of the street by everybody. Unfortunately, I've been unfollowing people and, you know, removing posts from my account because I don't really like social media that much, believe it or not. You know, I stayed off of Instagram and for a year last year. Was it last year or maybe it was 2 years ago? I don't even remember. And, you know, I'm not really on here as much, not nearly as much as I used to be. Do I think producers and songwriters get paid fairly? Do I think they get paid fairly? I believe they get paid fairly if they're doing business correctly and in the right medium. Like streaming, absolutely not. Streaming is the biggest scam in the world right now, and a person gets paid 0.0033 cents per stream. So they stream their song their song streams 1,000 times. They get $3. What? All the way the F out of here. I'm selling my music. If I need an assistant, holla at your boy. Appreciate it, but yeah, nah, no assistance needed. Despite the condition of my junky studio, but this will be cleared up. Look at that. Look at my wall. 0 plaques on my wall because I've ordered my plaques. You know what? I think it's been over a year. I still haven't received a single one. I've earned now, I think, 14 gold and platinum sales or plaques, and I've only received one in my career. You gotta give me my flowers now. I'm not worried about it. Like, I'm so used to being overlooked and the underdog that I actually feel comfortable in this position. And actually, I prefer to be off the radar, off the scene and stuff like that. I would like to be credited for the work that I've done, but I really don't want any parts of the limelight and, you know, the glamour and the glitz or whatever. Music has been inspiring you lately. I actually don't get inspired by music, believe it or not. But I am really into Dungeons and Dragons, I'll tell you that. It's my life right now. Thanks for sharing the time with us. Thanks for joining me and the other 17 people on the check-in. They also got to credit me for the most immaculate polo collection of any producer alive. I mean, nah, I don't feel like that. That's not an accomplishment as far as I'm concerned. I just, you know, have the cash to buy polo, and that's all I've purchased since 1990. Diamond D, yo, Diamond was good. Yo, I was quoting one of your lines today. I was rapping. I was rapping. Pop, yo, but my shit still slams like a brother. That slams like a mother. There's not another rough round brother that grew up undercover. I run the game on the dame like Too Short. I know you ain't talking about me. I smoke an MC like a Newport or a Marlboro or a Salem. It doesn't matter because I take them in and will and get a rush of the nicotine battle. Nigga, please, I won't even attempt. What's it? I grab the mic and show I own it. Yo, better off if it's not said God bless the pothead. When I remember what my moms and my pops said, learn to be the best. Strive for learn to be the best. Strive. Man, I forgot how you flipped it. But yeah, we was talking about me and Ye. We were talking about your album today. Well, yeah, we were talking about your album for a hot second. It's like, man, that album was flawless. Sheesh. Diamond D, the master, is on the check-in right now. Diamond D's first, man. That album is so crazy. Mistaken Identity, No ID. Good style is good style. We appreciate it, absolutely. Yo, everyone right now, highly recommend it. Unless you're about to go to sleep or whatever, or queue it up so you can listen to it tomorrow. Everybody, if you haven't heard Diamond and the Psychotic Neurotics, Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop, thank me now. Thank me now for putting you on. Listen to that tomorrow. But don't listen to it casually, like, oh, I'm on my way to work and let me put this on, and then you're going to have to stop at track 4 because you arrived at work. Like, nah, wait till you get home. Set aside, I forgot how long that album is. Set aside like 40 minutes. Crank the volume up to 12. If your joint goes up to 10, put it up to 12. Just press play. Don't look for, don't try to don't try to sift through it to see which songs have the higher ratings and the stars next to it. No, just press play and let it rock. And then, but thank me now. Thank me for this now. Diamond and the Psychotic Neurotics. Stunts, blunts, and hip hop. I promise you. Your life might be changed. Yes. Let's hear the beat I'm making right now. Well, I haven't made the beat. I'm just sampling it. I just sampled something, which I'm considering using. I may not even use what I sampled, but the question is what made me get into the music industry, not what made me want to get in the music industry. So what made me get into the music industry was the first beat that I sold, actually. What made me get into the industry was the first beat that I sold, which was to this group called Network Reps. I think I was 18 at the time, or turning 18. Man, I love you too, man. Diamond D. What region of the world do I like sampling from the most? America, the West, I guess. What made me choose my career? My career chose me. Yeah, I was just making beats for fun. It was super fun. Then became super easy. Then people started telling me, people who came across my music started telling me that my stuff sounds better than what was actually being made on the radio, and I didn't believe him at first. I didn't believe him at first. I thought it was cap, as the kids say nowadays. A lot of people started telling me that, and I was like, you know what? They might have a point. Then I started to trust my ears. Goes back to that. So I just kept doing it and started handing out my beat tapes and stuff, and one thing led to another. Have I ever tried to shift my creativity to another genre or field? Musically, I do what I do, despite what genre I'm asked to do, or despite the genre the artist is in. So my music ends up in the genre based on what the artist is doing. Like, I've worked with Mumford and Sons. I don't make pop music. I don't make country music. I actually, I don't even know if I can say I make hip hop. I just make good music. In my opinion, I just make music that I feel is really good. Like for the stuff that I decide to keep and not delete from my drives and stuff like that. So if Mumford and Sons wants to hop on something and it falls into the pop or country category, then it's pop or country. If John Legend decides to jump on something that I've made, then, pop and R&B, it falls in that category. If Lil Baby decides to jump on something that I've made, or Da Baby, it becomes whatever he's doing. So I just do me at every given moment. There's not one time where I don't do what I do. So then I just make really good music, in my opinion. So I don't have to shift my creativity or anything. Do I remember what inspired the Can't Stop beat with Theophilus? I just did the drums on that song as well. And the only reason why I didn't is because Ye asked me to do them. He asked me to take a stab at it. I was like, all right, got you. Got you, my guy. And that's how that came about. Other than that, had I produced that entire song, that song would not have sounded like that. I promise you. How long was I making beats before I started selling them? I started making beats hands-on at 15 years old, self-taught, and then I sold my first beat when I was either 18 or turning 18. I feel like I was probably 18 by the time I sold my first beat, so that's 3 years. But I was literally making beats every day, and even beyond that, literally every day, every single day, from morning through the nighttime. You hear that new Drake? No, I haven't. Are you signed to anyone? Do I have a manager? Do I do all the groundwork myself? Or am I signed to anyone, and do I have a manager, or do I do all the groundwork myself? I do have a manager. His name is Daniel Glogauer of Together We March Management. He's one of my best friends for over 24 years. We've done business on a handshake. And am I signed to anyone? I'm signed to Warner Records, which nobody knows. So I'm signed to Warner Records. There are only 3 major record labels, and every other label is a subsidiary of that. So there's Warner, there's Sony, and there's Universal. So I'm signed to Warner proper. Yeah, finding a good manager is rough. Rough and tough with my Afro puff. Do I know how to play instruments? Unless you're counting this as an instrument, the answer would be no. I don't play that. I don't play that. I don't play guitar. I don't play bass. Although I did play the bass very terribly on my album, on The Death of Adam and the interludes or the segues. I would like to think the same, Grace Boogie. So yeah. So because I play this instrument, I therefore play every single instrument on the man. Do I bounce individual drum sounds out of the MPC for mixing, or just a whole drum track? Individually, I always send stems, and I have a very special rule and / request when engineers are mixing my drum tracks in particular. But yeah, I always send stems. Everything's stemmed out because I come from that era. How do I feel about the industry, and how much do I think the sonics and content of lyrics is pushed by the industry? I don't think the content and the lyrics are being pushed by the industry at all. I think the industry puts their money on what seems to be working. And if people want to hear about, arguably known as stripper music right now, or, music about the ops and, having, taking other people's women, girlfriends, and all sorts of trash that most cats are seemingly talking about nowadays. If people are responding to that, then the industry will put more money into it because it's an investment for them. All of this stuff is just an investment for record companies, and that's how the record companies make their money. But so I don't think there's any hidden agenda, what's commonly said or what used to be said is the industry or the major labels are purposely making music to destroy the black community or people of color, their community, and pushing the poison. It's nah, the artists are pushing the poison and the fans are eating it up. So the industry is just I wouldn't even say exploiting. They're taking advantage of an opportunity that seems to be a sure bet. And how do I feel about the industry? Man, I can't even get into that right now. But I'll say this. There's a reason why I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons. There's a reason why I've fallen in love with Dungeons and Dragons. Warner has been exceptionally awesome to me, patient, and all of that. But yeah, the industry as a whole, advice on success and sticking out independently. I mean, success is what's the word I'm looking for? Man, the word fails me. But the measure of success depends on what you would believe to be successful. Sticking out, man, just trust your ears. That's the best way. Just trust your ears. Look at Jail. Jail was never intended to be a single, and it got singled out. You know what I'm saying? It won a Grammy. Fun fact, Jail was freestyled. Ye's whole performance, his whole verse was a one-take freestyle. But yeah, man, it's just trust your ears. Know that it's hot, and it seems like they're tripping. So what? Put it out anyway. If you feel that it's hot, put it out anyway. What's my views on producing music that can stimulate different chakras? I don't have a view on that at all. Do I believe in all that? I guess. Do I think about it? Never. Man, I just make beats to complete projects and, help people out and get compensated credit-wise and financially. That's it. I don't take it any further than that. How did I get my beats out for artists to hear? Well, back in the day, I used to post up at the at studios and just hand my stuff out and hope for the best. Now, I stopped shopping beats back in 2010. 2010 was the last time I made an actual beat tape where I gave it to my manager. Some label A&Rs have it, and yeah. But since 2010, I stopped shopping beats. It just didn't make any sense to me to do so anymore. But people are able to still hear my stuff. But now, I really don't even, even right now as I'm working with independent artists, I still don't shop beats and stuff like that. They're welcome to come over to my studio and go through some stuff, but I always advise the best way for me to produce to produce their music is, just let me make the track on the spot, which is what I'm doing tonight or this morning. So I don't really play beats for people like that. How do I go about clearing samples? Contact the label that the sample came from to clear the masters. Speak to somebody in the sample clearance department, clear the masters, and then you have to contact the publishers to get the publishing side cleared. And you can find the publishers on any of the PRO websites. So that would be ASCAP.com or BMI.com, and sometimes and then there's CSAC, whatever. So look the song up on their search engines, and then they'll have the publishing information, the companies and the writers. And then with the publishing company information, there's usually a contact to the publisher. Then hit them up, tell them what you want to do, whoop-de-whoop, negotiate, and that's that. But yeah, when you're clearing samples, you have to clear two things. You have to clear the masters, that's the actual recording. Then you have to clear the publishing, which is like basically the words, the lyrics of the song. How did I start off at 15 years old making new and different beats, equipment? At 15 years old, I was an assistant engineer. No, I was an intern at a studio called the Music Palace, which reminds me, I have to go there as a favor to the owner, who still owns the Mike Bono. He still owns the studio. He's doing not an interview, I forgot what it was called, like some kind of showcase reel, and he wants to. Yeah, I have to. I'm leaving the country like next week too. Yeah, I gotta go to his studio before I leave. Thanks for the reminder. But yeah, I was a kid, and the co-owner of the studio, or the studio owner's partner, Paul, he said, whatever you learn here, make sure you learn that. And he pointed to MPC 3000. Never saw it before in my life. And I was like, okay. And I taught myself like the following week, like in the middle of the night. Like I was very trustworthy, and I was a diligent and focused and hard worker and fast learner. So they had after a week of interning, they had given me the keys to this multi-million-dollar studio, or probably hundreds of $1,000 studio. And yeah, one night I just stayed till like 4 a.m, and there wasn't an owner's manual for the MPC 3000, but I was just like pressing every button and seeing what they did. All right, what does this do? What does this do? I just pressed every button on there. Then I made my first beat on there. And that's the very first beat I sold, which is crazy. Because that beat was trash. What's up? C Butcher Man. Knifey Music. Big up Amsterdam. Big up to Amsterdam. Is using loops in beat cheating. If you talk about sampled loops, I used to think that, and that kind of stifled my career, because every single thing I did back in the days, like, it had to have been a chop. Like, if I couldn't chop it up and it sound good, I wouldn't even use it. I would scrap it. But yeah, I stayed away from loops until, until like probably like a decade ago or so. I was like, man, let me stop thinking like this. Let me stop thinking like an idiot. But if you're talking about these loops and loop packs and stuff like that, I don't use them. Do I think it's cheating? I won't say cheating, but I don't think there's anything creative behind it, in my opinion. Let's slide a track on the next season of Stranger Things. All right, you got to DM me. All right, well, now it's 5:02 in the morning, and I believe I am going to mess with this sample a little bit, and then read a little bit before I take it down, and then take it down. So I'm going to get off this. Regents Week, yep. My daughter is taking the Regents. I think both of them are. I'm offering my production services for a limited time, a very limited time, because again, I'm leaving the country, even though I'm taking my equipment with me. But yeah, anyone interested, hit me up. I'm knocking joints out. All right. I'm out of here. Have a good morning, everybody. Peace out.